Welcome, everybody. This is Jane Gardner, and welcome to Finding Your Purpose TV. I'm Jane Gardner, and welcome. We're so excited today because we have another purposeful entrepreneur today, and we're going to be chatting with her about how she found her purpose. Her name is Dorothy Anne O'Dell, and she was born and raised in Ontario, Canada, so we have a lot in common because we're both Canadians. So we talk a lot about that right now. And she's turned her love of books into her next career, writing them, and she loves to help people succeed in life. And when she's not writing or reading, she's helping her community. And actually, remind me, Dorothy, we have to talk about your charity concept at the end, so I'll write a note for that because it's a real exciting one. And she's also a life coach and speaker, and her life's purpose is to make sure that people feel that they feel worthy and that they don't feel unworthy. She believes every life matters and has dedicated herself to helping others overcome their own obstacles and learn to feel empowered to move forward in their life. And Dorothy, we're going to be talking a lot. So let's get ready. So Dorothy, tell me, how did your purpose in life make you become the entrepreneur you are now? Welcome.
Well, thank you. And thanks for having me, Jane. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my purpose all started at the beginning of the pandemic. And I've always loved helping people, growing up and things like that. But I wasn't sure how I was supposed to do that. And I wrote my first book, The Overcomer, Facing Challenges with Faith and Courage, because I knew that I had a lot of challenges that I had overcome in my life, like bullying, low self-esteem, abusive relationships, and family trauma. And I knew that I wasn't the only one out there. And I also knew that in those moments when you're going through those times that it is very challenging and that you feel very alone. And sometimes you feel like you don't matter. And so I decided that my purpose was to make sure that people knew that they were heard, that they mattered, and that they never had to feel alone. So that's when I came up with my purpose at the beginning of the pandemic, wrote the book
Wow.
in no time at all, and had it out for the world to see January of this year. And it's been an exciting adventure. And I thought, why stop there? Help people overcome their obstacles, coach them on um, how to have fun, how to have some, what's the word I'm looking for? Time to themselves, and just really self-care. Self-care was key. It's something that I never had growing up. Or I never took the time, didn't think about it. We weren't educated in school. And I had a grandmother that said, you need to take care of your man, and it's basically selfish to take care of you. And she's old school and love her to death. But I didn't know any better. So I was always giving, giving, giving until I hit a wall, and my dad was diagnosed with cancer for the first time 2.5 years ago. I met a counselor at the cancer clinic here in Windsor, and the first question she asked me was, "What about your self care?" And I said, "There is none. Like, I don't have time for that. I'm planning a wedding. My dad just got cancer, just got diagnosed, and work was insane at the time. So there was no time for me." And that's when she said, "Well, you better make a time, because if not, you're going to crash and you're going to burn hard." And she was right. And I decided to put some tools into place to bring the fun back into my life, because I mean, growing up, there was fun and things like that, but there was also a lot of times where it was like, I would call it adult times, I guess, where a lot of the time that was taken up was, worried about parents that were sick, things like that. And it was a serious time. I took life
Mm.
way too serious, I guess is the proper word I should use.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so growing up way too serious, and helping around the house my entire life. And I didn't really have a lot of friends growing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I talked about that this morning in a conversation with somebody else, and it was a lonely time. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought I hit my 40s, and I'm like, fun is it? Like the and that's been my word for the last 5 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
for I think it was my 43rd birthday, my husband says, "What do you want?" And I said, "I just want a family, want a balloon fight. Family is everything to me." And what better way? My birthday's in July, so it's not like it's a cold
Mm-hmm.
month. So I said, that's what we're going to do. And everybody was receptive. We had my husband's family over, and we had a barbecue, we had a water balloon fight, and we just had some amazing fun.
Wow.
And everybody that was there that day said, I thought at first you were crazy, but we really did have fun. And everybody got into it, including my mother-in-law. So it was awesome.
Oh, wow. Gee.
Yeah.
What I can't believe is that it's only been like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and you decided to write a book, and you just sort of suddenly found what your purpose is from all those years of challenges. We've spoken before, and you've had quite a few challenges, not having, I guess, not having the childhood that you wanted, like the one that everybody imagines and everything.
Right.
And it's been challenging, I guess, to realize that time flies and you've got to have fun. So
That is true.
tell us a little bit about your book as well, just for people who'd like to read it. How's the progress? Do you go through your life history and what the challenges were and how to overcome it, and what?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it was funny because at the beginning of the pandemic, I used to do a lot of volunteering and stuff.
Oh,
Just to backing
wow.
up a little bit, I used to live in Chatham, Ontario,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to do a lot of volunteering at soup kitchens and things like that. And then I met my spouse, and I gave up all that and moved to be with him.
Right.
So I gave up a great part of my life, but like I don't regret it. I don't regret my childhood either because it made me who I
Mm-hmm.
am today. And my family and I are amazing. And we
Right.
also help each other out. But I said to my husband, I said, I love being with you. I love being with your son, but I feel like there's something missing. And I said, I need to start doing a little bit more for myself. And when I don't know, this crazy for the 6 years prior to the pandemic, I had got these promptings from God saying, you need to write this book. And I had spoken to different friends about it, hoping that they would tell me that it was an insane idea and that I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't do it. But no, they said, yes, it's an amazing idea. And people need to hear your story because it's relatable. Like everybody goes through different things, but no one talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
So when the pandemic hit and I didn't have the hour drive to work every morning and every hour back home, that I had that time. So I said to my husband, I'm going to write a book. And he's like, okay, didn't think nothing of it. So I wrote the book, and the book is my life story about it's 24 chapters, and each chapter I write about a challenge and then how I basically overcame that challenge.
Oh.
So I talk about being bullied in school, and I talked about my abusive relationship and my first love. I talk a little bit about that. Um, and I talk about, the work I had. I had worked in an environment that was very toxic and that was abusive as well. And I go on to talk a little bit about that. Um, and then, of course, meeting Mr. Wright,
Right.
and I
Mm-hmm.
share about our love story
Oh,
and
good.
our wedding, and because our wedding was pretty special, because that's my dad got like we were engaged November of 2018. My dad got diagnosed April of 2019 with
Oh, wow.
cancer, and because I found love late, and
Mm-hmm.
my greatest dream was to have my dad walk me down the aisle. And when
Mm-hmm.
he got diagnosed with cancer, I wasn't sure that was going to happen. And I prayed. I had people praying around the world for him that to make sure that that dream would happen, and it did. And so
Mm-hmm.
not only was our wedding emotional in the aspect that my
Yeah.
my dad was still there, and the fact that Joe and I finally got married, and it's funny, growing up, I used to read tons of romance novels, and I never thought that that would happen for me. And marriage is not a romance novel by any means, but I think as a child and as a little girl, you have these expectations in your mind of what marriage should really be. And so I think that's probably why I waited so long to get married, you know, and I had to take some time to myself to heal after the mentally and verbal
Yeah.
abusive relationship that I was in, because I knew that if I didn't heal, then I would just, be toxic in a new relationship that I had. So I talk about that. And I talk about leaving my family legacy for my family and the
Right.
legacy that they have given me, because I believe that a legacy is important, and I'm full of gratitude for the legacy that my parents have given us. They were married, they were together 50 years and married for 47 when my dad passed away 3 months ago. So that's a pretty incredible legacy, especially in today's terms where people would rather just give up on each other instead of fighting for their marriage and fighting for what they really want. And I show gratitude in that. And I come from a family our family bonds, like we could be mad at each other, but we're always there for each other.
Oh, sure.
And even my aunts and uncles and things like that, to me, it's special. We could go years without seeing each other, but when we see each other, it's like we just picked up. And I believe that that's very special and very much appreciated. The love that is in our family is by far what has gotten us through everything that we've gone through.
Oh, wow. And you know what? We haven't even mentioned the title of the book. So
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
we could mention the title and then how it would relate to everybody else who's listening.
sure. The title is The Overcomer: Facing
Right.
Challenges with Faith and Courage, which can be found on Amazon or my website. And sorry, what was the second half of the question?
So no, and you do have a work for them in the book. I mean, there is value in the book in terms of little processes that they can think about in terms of the book, and also
Right,
that you're working on creating a course from your book,
right.
and a workbook. So yeah, I mean, I think the unstoppable. Sorry, the overcome. Oh, yeah. No, your website's Unstoppable Overcomer.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. And well, relatable. It's relatable because I'm not the only one that's gotten bullied.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm not the only one that has low self-esteem. And I know I'm not the only one that has been in an abusive relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not the only one that has had their uncle take his life.
Right.
And I know that I'm not the only one where their parents have,
Yeah.
gone undiagnosed with heart problems and has had cancer. So it's relatable in the sense that I'm not the only one that's gone through these, but I'm willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to share my experiences so that other people know that they're not alone. And that is
Mm-hmm.
the whole purpose of why I did it. Because I truly believe that no one talks about it. And yes, I am in the final touch stages of putting together a workbook to create the roadmap that I use to go from being stuck in unhealthy relationships to being unstuck and having the life and the fulfillment that I want. And having fun, because as I was
Yeah.
talking to Jane before we started, I didn't start having fun truly until I hit 40.
Wow.
And I mean, there was fun, but I didn't feel the fun and the fulfillment until I reached 40, I guess is what I could say. I was very much,
Sounds like
what's
you
the
were a
proper word?
caregiver for others.
Yes, I was a
Yeah.
caregiver for
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
And so that in itself, I mean, there you can create your own fun, and we
Mm-hmm.
all have our own fun, so let's just put it that way. And I'm finding fun in different places, and what I find fun you might not find fun. Like
Right.
I love to work out. I don't I'm making time in my schedule. I'm learning a new thing called time blocking, where I'm blocking off times in my schedule to do the things that definitely need to do, um, the have to and the want to. And I think it's important that you definitely have an hour of want to in your schedule.
Yeah.
And so creating that workbook helps people to identify and create a roadmap from, like I said, where they want to be to where
Yeah.
they are to where they want to be.
The journey. Yeah, the
Yeah.
journey. Yeah.
The journey.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh yeah, I was going to say something important.
Yeah.
We've had a previous discussion about business, and you actually want to help businesses with this and
Yes.
making their employees happier and better employees, really. So
Yes.
maybe we should just talk briefly on that as well, because that seems to be your almost your second purpose is to be a business. You're going to have to the overcomer of stress, I think. I don't know. You'll have to
Yes.
think of a tagline for your business part.
Yes. And that, yes. So basically, as being an employee too, I realized that there's different stresses in the workplace, and you can feel unfulfilled at work as well.
Mm-hmm.
And but I believe that we also have, um, I help employees find out how to reduce their stress, how to find that fulfillment in life. And
Mm-hmm.
it all ties into exactly how I became the overcomer, finding your purpose, finding what makes you happy, doing those things.
Right.
I find even with the pandemic, and some people are blessed to still be working from home, and some of us have to be in the office every day.
Yeah.
And um, it can be very stressful. Not only is the work stress, but then you have, I call it the pandemic stress,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, for sure.
there's still the worry factor out there and the fear factor for a lot of people. I refuse to give into the fear of what could happen. Let's focus on what we're doing and focus on, doing the right things. Are we washing our hands? Are we sanitizing? And I don't think that the world needs to keep on putting those reminders in front of us. We're all adults. We know what
Mm-hmm.
we need to do. Just do it. But this pandemic, and especially the new variants, have created a lot of fear in people,
Yeah.
and that adds to our daily stress. So if we could just focus on the trigger of the stress. I think of stress as a symptom. So what is the underlying factor to that stress?
Right.
And it could be different for everybody, and it's finding out what that trigger is for that individual, exposing that lie that they're thinking, putting the truth to that, and help reducing the stress. We all have stress. I mean, if you've ever shopped at Costco, that's a whole
Mm-hmm.
different level of stress.
Yeah.
I was there last night, and
Oh.
I'm like, why am I there on a Friday night?
Yeah.
But I needed things that I had to pick up. And so I think we all come across stress in different forms, but it's how we choose to identify with it and how we choose to let a lot of things go. And
Right.
everything circles back, that I talk about in the workbook. And people like to put band-aids on different problems, but I don't want to band-aid problems. I want to fix the problem
Mm-hmm.
and help people so that it actually, once you fix one thing, it will unravel all the way in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody talks about, oh, my spouse is so cranky and this and that. Well, are you bringing the stress home from the workplace? Number one. And if you could actually alleviate that stress
Mm-hmm.
and find proper communication at work and at home, I mean, I think I think a great deal of our problems all based on communication issues as well. And I see that in my own life.
Right.
Growing up, we didn't talk about a lot of things. So when I went into relationships, I carried that into that relationship. Well, now I'm finding out, well, my husband is not a mind reader, so I have to tell my husband what I need, what I want, and things like that, where we think
Good.
that they should just know. Well, you don't know what
Mm-hmm.
your spouse is thinking, so unless he or she tells you, you know so it all boils down to the same fundamentals
Mm-hmm.
basically. And so I help employees reduce their stress and find fulfillment and fun, because if I
Right.
can't have fun, like, if you can't have fun, what's the purpose of it? What's the point?
Yeah, yeah, I can see you going into a business that's having problems and developing sort of like fun that they can have in the business, because it's a lot of meetings in offices and things like that. So it's exciting. I mean, you've only started, so
Yeah.
yeah, last 2 years. So it's going to be a process for you to figure that out. But Yeah, to get people back into the office now is going to be really hard, according to, what's going on. And we don't
Right.
want to just talk about the pandemic because it'll be over. But in general, I'm grateful that I'm in a home office, because I was in an office and it was very stressful. And there's a lot of things that go on in an office that they need to work on, in terms of having business coaches come in and analyze it and all that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I'm grateful that you're thinking of adding some fun, because it's not fun in the office.
Well, my philosophy, and I've told my boss several times, I
Mm,
spend 8 to 9 hours a day with you people.
yeah.
I get to spend 2 to 3 hours a night if I'm lucky with my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
So if I spend 80% of my time with you, I want it to be fun.
Right.
And, I coach my boss on what I need from them,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's important. Your coach is not a mind reader, or your
Yeah.
your
Your
employer is
boss.
not a
Yeah,
mind
employer.
reader.
Yeah.
So if you tell them what you need, and you meet in the middle, I think that's crucial. And 9 times out of 10, your boss is going to believe that, hey, you're right. We do spend more time with each other than we do spend at home. So let's make it an amazing work environment, instead of being, stifled with stress and everybody's crabby, and
Mm-hmm.
and if you take a look at the businesses that have a high rate of return of employees, like, it's cheaper. The saying is cheaper to keep her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's cheaper to keep an employee than to retrain somebody else. So if we can all come to a common ground, I'm not saying asking for unrealistic expectations from your employer, but what I am, the basics, like being allowed extra time, like, and they have to take into consideration, if somebody's just lost somebody in their lives, and they're acting out in different ways than they normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
Sitting down with that employee and saying, hey, I realize that, there's something going on with you. Are you okay? Do you need extra time for something? Just
Mm-hmm.
identifying, talking with your employee and finding out if they feel valued and they feel loved and appreciated, they'll do anything for you.
Yeah, they will.
Absolutely anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's trifled with stress and, just do it my way, and constantly belittling people, that
Yeah.
doesn't work.
No.
And I'm not saying that happens everywhere, but I'm just saying it does happen in the workplace. Um, and just, having those conversations is important, and just really focusing on how can we help the company with their bottom line, and how can we help the employee get what they need in order to function at that high level.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I know that it can be quite difficult in offices, and well, now we won't, it's, they want us to go back in, out of the office, so back home again, but in here in Canada, so to yesterday, but well, anyway, this is time limited, so we're gonna talk. So it's cheaper to keep her. I think that's a good tagline. although being, you may want to do better than that one, but I
Yeah.
love that one, because it's cheaper to keep the people that you have, even if you're not
Okay.
happy with them.
So honestly, I got that tagline. Okay, so my
Yeah.
brother, my brother has friends that were in a relationship, and my brother
Oh.
said, it's cheaper to keep her. So
Oh, we don't want to
that's where
use
that
that
comes
one.
from.
We don't want to use that one for
but
business.
it but
Yeah.
honestly, it's marriage is like working with somebody, like
Mm-hmm.
working with your employer. If you can have open communication, and you both come to a mutual agreement on anything, if you marry a marriage, if you look at it, marriage is what keeps a marriage great, and what keeps a relationship with an employee great are
Yeah.
basically the two same things.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
different fundamentals, like you get extra benefits at home, but I mean, at work, if you keep the fundamentals and you keep the communication open, it's the same thing. And it is cheaper to keep an employee than it is to retrain.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
stats are out there to prove that.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Before we forget, I wanted to talk about your LinkedIn show.
Right.
Do you think you'll be continuing it? What's the focus of it? And you know, I
Yeah.
see it was on a different day one day, so they have to connect with you, I think, in order to see the
Yeah.
notifications for the show. Is that correct?
Well, and it actually,
Are you
okay, so my,
you're continuing it, I assume.
yes.
Remember, we're going to be
Oh,
up
I'm,
here for 2 or 3 years, so
oh, yes,
your
yes.
broadcast.
It's continuing,
You
and
love it,
actually,
yeah.
I love it. I love what
Mm-hmm.
I do. It's Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern
Mm-hmm.
Standard Time. It is connected to my YouTube channel, which is
Mm-hmm.
Unstoppable Overcomers, as well as my LinkedIn profile and my Facebook profile. But yes, I'll be around for years to come, and I'm actually, um, it my what's the word I'm looking for? My goal is for it to be on national television.
Right.
Is my
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about that in a second. First, we're going to
Yeah.
talk about what the mission of the show is, just for those who are interested, who might want to come and
Sure.
see.
Yeah.
I think it's
So
all
it,
about purpose, to be honest.
yeah. Well, it's all about overcoming and
Overcoming.
purpose.
Yeah.
So the show is Unstoppable Overcomers.
Yeah.
So I talk to different people that have overcome obstacles, and it's okay for you to overcome that obstacle. But how do you help other people with that
Mm-hmm.
obstacle as well is important to me. So I showcase. There is so many amazing people out there, and I always say everybody has a story.
Right.
So my purpose for the show is to showcase these amazing people, because they could have anything overcoming as drugs, alcohol, sex addictions, eating disorders, um, being
Disabilities.
wrongfully
Mm.
accused of
Oh
of
no.
actually Monday night show
Crime? Oh
gentleman
wow.
is being wrongfully accused and spent time in
Oh
prison
no.
for something that he didn't do.
Oh wow.
So it's I cover basically every area, and
Mm-hmm.
I talk about it and shine the light on these people overcoming, because it's all relatable. We all have overcome something,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's a fear or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be big, but people are amazing creatures, and I just believe in showcasing amazing people. And there hasn't been a show where I've walked away and thought, why did I have this person on the show? It's all been incredible,
Oh good.
and it continues to get better and better.
Yeah, I mean you've only just started that as well. So
I started that in May. Yeah.
oh no.
May of
You're amazing.
2021.
Yeah, you're a go-getter. So yeah, so let's talk about your vision, because you wanted to speak to the universe about the kind of people that you'd like to interview and where you'd like to be in the future. That'd be
Yeah.
great. Thanks.
Yes. So, okay, so my passion project that is still in creative mode. So it will be called the Overcomer Academy. And I vision that this will be in every city and province across the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so what it is, so when God gave me the vision, it was an abandoned schoolhouse, but this could even be online too, I guess.
Yeah.
But so there is a huge need for homelessness in my community of where I live in Windsor, Ontario. So I vision classrooms, and in each classroom, classroom will be helping the homeless and getting what they need, whether that be clothing, whether that be shelter, whether that be helping them get a job if that's what they want or desire, uh, basic necessities as food or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that, shelter. Like, I don't think anybody in this world should go without the basic necessities:
No.
food, shelter, and water. To me, it's actually criminal that we have so many people that are on the streets right now. I don't understand. There was a project in place for $7 million that to showcase more housing for homelessness, and it still hasn't happened. But
Oh.
yet we can put something, some kind of, I don't know, bandstand or something like that downtown.
Yeah.
So I think that has been put a stop to, because there's been so many people saying no, that's not where our money needs to go. So in another classroom, because my heart also is helping people that have been abused, men and women, because men have
Mm-hmm.
been abused as well. So I want there be a classroom to help women and their needs, whether that be from just coaching to whatever they need. If they're on the run and they're getting away from their abusive partner, helping ways to find
Yeah, like a safe house.
them a
Yeah.
safe place. So also as well, I believe that we are doing a disservice to our children by not sharing with them how to cook, clean, or anything like that.
Yeah.
So in another classroom, have ideas and cooking classes for children to come in and get those, because I truly believe they gotten away with home economics, because I don't think home economics is in the
Oh,
classroom
no?
anymore.
Oh, too bad.
As well as another classroom, I want to help people with self-care, mental health issues, things like that. Because if I would have known, if I would have had help at
Yeah.
an early age, I probably wouldn't have gone on to be into those abusive relationships. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't tell my parents about what I was going through, because I number one, I didn't want to burden them.
Yeah.
And number two, I don't know, I just didn't feel that my parents needed to know that. But if we teach kids that it's okay to have these thoughts, to get the help when they need it, to make them feel self-love is important.
Yeah.
If you don't love yourself, you can't, no one else can love you. And it took me a long time to realize that, and to love myself, to be able to look at myself in the mirror and accept and love who I see back. So definitely having a classroom for that. I also believe debt freedom, debt management, things like that. Because if you don't know how to manage your money, you're never going to get it, and you're never going to be able to keep it.
Yeah.
So having a classroom for that, as well as if fitness, yoga, meditation, all of that, having a classroom and classes for that, as well as, gosh, you name it. Like, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
every
community.
classroom should have something to help somebody in some area that they need. And you know what? They'll probably need it all,
Yeah.
at one point or another, truthfully. So I'm in the beginning stages of, making that happen. But I also need partners, because honestly, with something that big, there's no way I could take that on myself. Um,
Yeah.
I'm great at coming up with ideas, but the execution sometimes I don't know how to do. So if anybody is looking at this and thinking, "Oh my gosh, Dorothy, that's an amazing idea. I would love to partner with you," reach out to me, because
Right.
I would love partners, and let's make this a reality, and instead of just a dream.
Oh, yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, and yeah, that was one of your dreams. Yeah. What was the other dream when it came to TV and to who you want to interview? That's kind of neat.
Okay, so I envision myself as the next Oprah.
There you go.
I believe that with I truly believe that what I'm doing is amazing, and I truly believe that this needs to go, like, viral.
Right.
My show needs to go viral. The people that are on the show needs to go viral. I'm also putting out into the universe, or to God. I put it out to everybody that there's certain people that I would like to showcase on the show, because um, they have overcome. They run at peak performance. They run at a level that is above me. So I want to learn from them more. Like, I've studied them, and that is like Tom Brady, Rob Gornsky, his right hand man, Elon Musk, Oprah. I want on the show. Real Talk Kim, because she's amazing, and she brings the element of the faith into that, as well as Cher, and Jack Canfield, because he's one of the biggest and best writers ever in the world, because
Yeah.
he's gone on to be on the national best-selling authors list, as well as his partner, Mark Victor Hansen. So incredible people that have all overcome amazing odds, and are at a level of peak performance and top performance every day of their lives. So I want to, people to learn from these people as well. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, just tweet them or whatever on LinkedIn. I don't know what it's called on LinkedIn, but you never
yeah.
know. Let's keep our fingers crossed that they were watching this and
Yeah. Well,
and
it's funny because
heard it. Um, Yeah. So I'm just it's just before we go and see your information and everything, so people can get a hold of you. We haven't talked about fun, so
Yes.
you can give me a few ideas of fun. Maybe even just your 43rd birthday sounded like a lot of fun to
I
me.
know, right? So I truly believe that, like I said before, we all fun is different for everybody. So this is what I encourage you to do. I encourage you to take a piece of pen and paper out and write at least 21 things that you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these things that you probably did when you were a child that you thought, hey, that was fun, but with because life gets ahead of us, life is so busy, we just sometimes even forget to have fun. And so I encourage you to write a list of 21 things and then start doing them. As a matter of fact, I have a 21-day challenge going on right now
Oh.
where each day that you do something fun. And I posted either a picture or a video of what I've been doing. And, for me, the one day was cooking because I truly
Mm-hmm.
enjoy cooking as long as it's for the right people.
Mm-hmm.
And I love cooking for people who appreciate my food. Um, and when I lived at home with my parents, they appreciated my food. So I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And I, I don't know, cooking for picky eaters is not fun for me, but I do it because I have a picky son. So,
Yeah.
um, but I was cooking a dinner, and then yesterday I took the day off and I spent it with my mom. So my mom and I had fun, and
Oh.
we had lunch
Yeah,
together
that's
and we
nice.
did some shopping. So and again, the water balloon fight, ballroom dancing can be fun. Skating, ice skating, I think is
Mm-hmm.
fun. Um, but like because everybody's so different, I encourage you to write a list of 21 things and just start doing them. And then follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn and then post
Right.
because I want to and tag me in that post because I really would love to connect with you and really get to know you and just really create a world of fun.
Right. That would be great, wouldn't it? If everybody could have fun. Even in
Yeah.
a pandemic, but we're not going to talk about that too much because it'll be over in a few months.
I
So
pray to God so.
yes, yes, so hopefully. And we can have fun at home anyway. But Dorothy, I'm just going to show the end card, and
Sure.
maybe you could point out some of the things that are you can they can how they can find you and well you don't have to read out your name or anything, but I
Right.
meant
Yeah.
your what you're offering. uh
Yeah.
yeah, that would be great.
Sure. I'm definitely offering a 30-minute discovery call to see if it's a good fit to work with you, whether that be you needing fun in your life, whether that be reducing the stress in your life, or finding fulfillment, or um, you know,
Finding your purpose.
finding your purpose,
Very important.
uh, wanting to get your story out there.
Yeah.
I'm booked to the end of January for people on my show, but I'm looking for new people and to connect with different people. So you can definitely go to my website, which is www.unstoppableovercomers.com. Book your time and would love to just meet with you and just talk with you. I love making new friends and just if you need help in those areas that I mentioned, I would love to help you with that, as well as, or if you just want to even contact me via email, and that's grahamdorothy408@gmail.com. And definitely, if you want a copy of The Overcomer, because it sounds amazing, and you're saying, Dorothy, your story truly resonates with me, and I really would love a copy of The Overcomer, you can definitely get it on my website, or you can definitely order it on Amazon. And yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I didn't mean to interrupt you there,
no,
Dorothy.
that's okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely get the Overcomer. You'll get to know Dorothy, for sure. Yeah, so Dorothy, do I have your LinkedIn on our end card here, or how they can connect with you and on LinkedIn? Because I find LinkedIn's almost the best place for
Yes.
connection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just type in Dorothy Anne Graham O'Dell on LinkedIn and
Oh,
I'll come
okay.
up.
Great.
I can give you the link to add to that if you'd like. Um,
Oh, that's
And
okay. I can add it in later. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. If it's
yeah,
not there on the end card, I forget now.
yeah,
Because I know we're connected, and we'll obviously be trying to watch your show,
yeah.
and that kind of thing. Yeah, and so Dorothy is also hoping and dreaming to be on national TV. So we'll put out the vibes for her to do a show.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
yeah, you've obviously I don't know how you found your purpose so quickly. It's amazing that and then wrote a book and done a show, and you're just moving. So I think you'll really get to the things that you need to for your passion and your purpose, for
Yes.
sure. Yeah. Even
Well,
you go ahead, Dorothy. Yeah.
sorry, I was just going to say, if you just, I most of it comes to me intuitionally based, and if you just sit down for like 10 minutes and just allow yourself to be quiet for 10 minutes, I'm telling you, each morning you do that, you get more in tune with who you are and what your purpose really is. And I didn't start doing that until about a year and a half ago,
Oh,
and
good.
since I've done that, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Because usually my mind was so full of different things, like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, and my mind was constantly 24/7, where I've learned to quiet it down a little bit and to enjoy life more and just be instead of do all the time. And which has been absolutely phenomenal as well. But I think if we really want to find out what our passion is, just find what brings you joy.
Yeah.
Once it
Yeah.
brings you joy, that's the start of your purpose. I
Right.
truly believe.
Well, I do enjoy meeting people, so I guess I have
Yes.
found some of my purpose. Um, so, so I'd like to thank you, Dorothy, for coming on today and sharing your purpose and everything. Do you have any final? Oh, we've got a. You need a tagline. I still think that's a good tagline, but yeah, but yeah. Do you have a? We'll just wrap this up, Dorothy, by saying what would you like to say for anything as a last comment.
Well, I just encourage everybody, like I said, to look within themselves, to find, at least start with 10 to 15 minutes a day just for you, and really focus on, self-care and really loving yourself, because you do matter. You absolutely matter. And I believe you all have a story. And I believe everybody needs to hear your story. So just don't be afraid to press into whatever comes. Whatever comes into your way. I say be open to everything and attached to nothing. That's a Wayne Dyer quote. And I absolutely love it. And every time I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed, I keep saying, okay, open to everything and attached to nothing. And I just keep saying that. And it has truly helped me get through sometimes as well. And just, start having fun. Just really press into the things that you like to do and start doing them.
Dorothy. I mean, what a message. That could be your whole message for your business. You're a great communicator, Dorothy, and I really appreciate you having you on.
Thank you.
And it's just so awesome and when I get to meet purpose-driven entrepreneurs, because they know their passion and they're willing to talk about it, which a lot of people don't. So thank you, Dorothy Ann.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dorothy Ann, for sharing your story. And if you want to contact Dorothy Ann, go to her website, www.unstoppableovercomers.com.